Hello guys, good morning. You're welcome to my YouTube channel, The Explicit Tutorials. Please, as you're watching this video, endeavor to subscribe, like and share. In our previous class, I discussed we discussed the types of motion. I gave us the 5 types of motion and various examples of the types of motion. And now we'll be discussing types of force. Now, if a person asks you to list the types of force, you don't have to say electric force, magnetic force, and gravitational force. That would be a blunder to say that. Okay. Now we have contact force as a type of force. Under this contact force, you now have like force. The like force is called what? Push. The unlike force is called what? Pull. You now have the third one called the frictional force. The frictional or viscous force. Alright. Now number 2, you now have the field force. Alright. This marker is, let me get a better one. You now have the field force. Alright, so contact force is a type of force that exists between objects that are in close contact to each other. Alright, they are close, they are near to each other. That is contact force. Like force, push, unlike force, pull, frictional or viscous force. Field force is a type of force that exists in a confined or restricted region. Then as such, the object possesses a force that is as a result of certain physical agencies. All right, so please take note of that. Now we now have that electric force, whatever force. Now this electric force is a type of force that carries electrons called the negatively charged particles around a metallic conductor. Alright, which means that the movement of electrons around a conductor is called is usually done by the electric force. Now you now have the magnetic force. The magnetic force is a type of force that exists in a magnetic substance. Alright, any substance that has the ability to possess magnetism is called a magnet. And for a magnet to be magnetic in nature, it must possess a negative and a positive pole. Okay, so please take note that a magnet is a substance that has the ability to move towards the north and the south pole. Please take note of that. You now have the gravitational force. The gravitational force is that force that pulls an object. It pulls or attracts the object towards the earth's surface, irrespective of its mass. It will pull it down. Alright, irrespective of its mass. And if it does not pull it down, I use the word attract or pulls. Alright, now frictional force. I told us that frictional force is a force that opposes the motion of another object. It's a force that opposes the motion of another object. Now we have applications of frictional force. 1, motor brake. It is the friction that is present in the motor brake that makes the car to stop each time the driver matches the brake. That is for that. Number 2, if there was no friction between the feet and the ground, it's not possible to move without falling. So which means that there's a friction between the soles of the feet and the ground. So the feet and ground. Alright, so there's a friction between the feet and the ground for proper movement. Now the third application of frictional force or friction is the rough surface of tires of a car, bicycle, and even tricycle, then even bike. Right, that's why their tires are made rough, right, because of what? Friction, so that they will not be falling. It is made rough because of the friction that is present in it. Now, another application of friction is the spreading of sand on a slippery surface. The spreading of sand, when it rains, everywhere becomes what? Slippery. Now, for you to prevent a person from falling, what do? You spread sand. Now, the spreading of sand around a slippery surface is another example of what? Application of frictional what? Force. Alright, so at this point we call it a day. In our next class, we shall be discussing ways of reducing what? Friction. Ways of reducing friction. Please take note, frictional force is a vector quantity because it has magnitude and direction. Please do have a wonderful day.